Thanks for staying with us on Mirror Now. And on Mirror at 1, our top focus of the hour, Punjab and Haryana High Court has passed an order in favour of retired officers in Haryana. Now, the High Court observed that departmental proceedings cannot be initiated against a retired government employee. Now, the court observed that after the statutory period of 4 years, retired employees should be left in peace. Now, the High Court passed these orders while setting aside the departmental proceedings initiated by the Haryana Government against a retired police officer under the Haryana Civil Rules. Now, his counsel, senior advocate B.S. Rana, contended that Rajpal retired from service on June 30th in 2019, and even extension of his service for 1 year ended on June 30th, 2020. Now, since after his retirement, a departmental proceeding was sought against him for an alleged misconduct which took place in 1986-88. So the High Court ordered to set aside the proceedings against the petitioner, observing that the alleged misconduct is prior to 4 years from date of issuance of the charge sheet. All right, so that is High Court's big message. Now, if we're talking about what it has said, what are the pointers, in fact, of this is that the High Court has commented on ex-employees rather to live in peace. That's one of the statements making that no probe after 4 years of retirement. So this is Punjab and Haryana High Court order for retired officers. Now, to bring us more details and also break down this particular order that has come out, I have my colleague Gurpreet joining us live. Gurpreet, very good afternoon. If you could break down, in layman terms, what this really means and what it will mean ahead.
Well, yes, we have seen one of the retired officer. He has approached the Punjab and Haryana High Court, in which the court has given a very clear-cut order saying that after the retirement, 4 years after retirement, nobody can be held responsible for any proceeding, and no departmental inquiry should be initiated against the employee who has already been retired from his services. So the limitation and the time period which the court has already been granted to retired employees, that was around 4 years. And what we have learned that one of the officer who has already approached the court and saying that departmental inquiry has been initiated when he has already been retired from the services, and after the gap of 4 years, these investigation as well as the departmental investigation has already been started against him. He has already approached the court, and the court has clear-cut said that there should not be such type of proceeding once the employee got retirement, and especially after 4 years, there is no even the locus standi that there should be any investigation against the employee. So the court has also further explained that there is need that retired employee should remain in peace after completing his whole services, and he has been serving the state. So it's a big relief for the employees, because in many cases, especially in many cases, we have already seen that employees are held responsible even after retirement. So it seems that the court has considered all the points of the retired employees, and finally this type of judgment has been given so that the retired employees should not face any harassment in future. Back to studio.
All right, Gurpreet, I appreciate you joining us in the broadcast and bringing us those important details. But to talk further about this order that has come out, I have guests also joining me on the broadcast. In fact, Shashikant, the former DGP of Punjab, and Ranbir Sharma, former IG of the Haryana Police, joining us. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time out and talking to Mirror Now. I'll come to you, Ranbir Sharma, first. How do you read into this particular judgment?
A great relief for all the retired officers as well as the employees also. Because in the government, when we serve, there are a lot of hanky-pankies in the governments, and sometimes the employees or the employer may get annoyed, and after their retirement, they try to take some sort of revenge from the employees or government officials or officer, retired officers. So this is a great relief, and the court has already said, let them live in peace, in a very headline. Let them live in peace, because after the retirement, whatever the services he has given in 35 or 30 year services, it is for the government how to tackle all this. But later on, after the retirement, and that is only after 4 years, even after 4 years, you are Gasito, implies or an officer in some of the department inquiry or in some of the cases also, because lower level, I mean to say the employees, they have some sort of, bugglings with these senior officers. Thereafter, then they also convince the government as well as the other. These are the dealing hand types of people. So we have to take care, and court has taken a very right and very correct decisions for the favor of employees as well as the government official. And it is a natural justice, I can say. It is a natural justice for all the government officials. After the retirement, if there should be any proceeding, it should be stopped immediately. Hello?
Right,
Hello?
as Ranveer Sharma, of course, is pointing that out, let me take that same point across to Shashikant, who's also joining us as the broadcaster. How do you view this? Are you of the same opinion that Ranveer Sharma also did point out right now?
Well, not necessarily. It's an important decision which only strengthens the norm, prevailing norm, that with what is, and mind you, this particular judgment refers only to the departmental proceedings, not to legal proceedings, etc. And in departmental proceedings, what normally happens, either is a warning given, a service is temporarily forfeited, or increment is forfeited temporarily or permanent. But if the person has retired, what kind of warning will you give the person? If the person is not getting an increment because he is already retired, what kind of increment you will stop? So judgment is good, certainly that because it only amounts to one thing, though nothing will come out of it. Judicial proceedings are there, but only it amounts to harassment. But yes, rest assured that the judgment doesn't talk about the legal proceedings against the person. So judgment is good, great judgment, no doubt. Confusion sort of gets eradicated, but I don't think that we need to read too much into it. Thank you.
All right. As of course, Mr. Shashikant is pointing that out, let me take that back to Ranveer Sharma. Do you think there are certain loopholes also that need to be addressed?
See, so far the judgment which was delivered by the High Court, I think the order is very clear. Order is very clear. Let them live in peace. There should not be any proceeding unless and until there is some criminal case. These are criminal cases are different, and department proceedings are different. So there is a difference between the criminal proceedings or as well as the departmental proceeding. The court has clearly ordered that after the retirement of 4 years, officer or employees, he should not be dragged in any of the department inquiry or some sort of misconduct like that, as the officer had already given a plea in the High Court. That is the order which we have understood so far. Hello?
Mr. Shashikant, coming back to you when we're talking about this order that's also, come in. Mr. Ranveer Sharma, stay with me. I'll come back to you in a few minutes. If we were to talk about this particular, order that has come out from the High Court, Mr. Shashikant, what do you believe would be the bigger challenges? Now, you of course have pointed out in terms of the loopholes, but for this to come into effect, in your opinion, what would that be?
Please, you'll have to repeat because the voice was getting distorted. You'll have to repeat, ma'am, because the voice was getting distorted. I didn't get it.
All right, Mr. Shashikant, if you can hear...
Yes, now I can hear you loud and clear.
My question is, what would the challenges be going ahead? You've obviously pointed out the loopholes, but what are the challenges going ahead right now?
Challenge is only one, that now at least the governments know that sometimes they start departmental proceedings primarily when a person person's retired, is not in service, only to harass that person. Because ultimately the departmental proceedings against a retired person don't mean one thing. But yes, if the judgment has come from the High Court, yeah, that certainly is going to, it's very important. It's very important it is. That means there will not be any such kind of mischief. And I said that this is mischief, that a person has retired and there's order department inquiry, nothing but a mischief. So this kind of mischief won't take place again. So I'll welcome this judgment. It's a fantastic judgment because it clarifies the norms, established norms. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Shashikant as well as Ranveer Sharma. I appreciate both of you taking the time out and giving us your viewpoint on this particular order that's come in, but we leave it at that at the moment. But I appreciate you once again joining us on the broadcast.